Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sleep When I'm Dead Book Club live show. I am here with Sarah from Sarah Shelves. I'm not used to this mirrored.
Yeah,
Um,
me neither. It never
it's
gets
so weird.
easier.
But yeah, welcome. Thank you so much for co-hosting with me. But in case you are new to my live show, I do book discussions once a month with a different creator, and I like to kind of make it a little more fun by adding like a few games, try to keep it low and casual. It doesn't have to be like 3 to 4 hours long, anything like that. But I guess I will tune it over to you so you can kind of introduce yourself. Where can we find you? What kind of books are you into? Things like that.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Sarah from Sarah's Shelves. My channel is a little dormant right now. I'm not really posting anything, but I am trying to make my comeback pretty soon. I mean, no promises, but I'm planning to before the end of the year.
Nice.
I am also on Instagram as Sarah Shelves. Pretty much everything is just Sarah Shelves. And I like to read a lot of thrillers, horror, things like that, like darker things, suspense, all that kind of stuff. But I have been getting really into like indie romances and dark romances recently, and that's
Nice.
been really fun. But I pretty much like anything with a good plot. So
Yeah. Same. I feel like we have a lot of like similar book like similarities on what we like and what we don't like. I
yeah.
for some reason I've been like fighting it all month, but I've been wanting to read romance, and I love romances, but like I'm like, no, I want a thriller. But
hmm
I finally read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne and loved it. Absolutely loved it. Um, but yeah, so let us know if you are here in the comments, definitely. But I have came up with two games. I typically do these on all the other ones, but the first, or actually both of them are mostly focused on you.
Nice.
So no pressure.
Yeah,
Um,
no pressure at all.
but definitely if you're watching, definitely comment down below what you think the answers are or what your personal answers are. But the first one is just a recap of 2021. What would you say your favorite book of the year is so far? And definitely, comment if you're watching what your favorite book is and so forth.
Wow. I haven't even thought about it, and I haven't updated my Goodreads, so I can't even look there. Um, I guess one that I've read recently that sticks out is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover.
Mm, that's a good one.
It
That's a
was
good one.
so emotional, and I just feel an attachment to it now. Like I feel like it'll always have a piece of me, which is kind
Yeah.
of weird, but I don't know. I just thought it was so realistic and just the way
Hmm.
it was written, just chef's kiss.
Yeah. I love Colleen Hoover, but that's actually my least favorite.
That's the only Colleen Hoover I've read.
Oh, okay. Buckle up because you need to read more. If you're definitely in a romance mood, definitely just pick up everything by Colleen Hoover. Absolutely love those. But I also heard It Ends With Us is being made into a movie. So,
I hope they don't mess it up because I feel like I don't love a lot of adaptations of
yeah.
my favorite books.
I don't know. The guy who is writing or directing it, I have faith in him. I can't remember what his name is, but he was Raphael in Jane the Virgin. He
Oh yeah. I did see that. Now that
Justin
I'm thinking of it.
something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, if he wants to play in the movie, that's fine because I think he's really good looking too.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What is one event or book, non-book related that's happened this year for you?
Mm, well, this year, wow. I'm just like I can't even remember what I had for dinner last week, and I just But I actually do have to say, I did kind of slip up. So I did read It Ends With Us, and then I did read Verity afterwards. So I have
Okay,
read two Colleen Hoovers, but It Ends With Us was my first Colleen Hoover.
nice.
Um, Something non-bookish that's happened?
It could be book or non-book related.
Well, I'm currently sitting in a new reading room. My sister let me turn the basement room into a full-on reading room, reading nook, all that stuff. So I'm buying more bookshelves, and I'll finally have like an at-home library. So I'm really excited about that.
That sounds awesome. I forgot to answer the last question. My favorite book so far, I know that's a hard one. I don't know. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney has always been like on my mind since I read it. So, and then one book related thing is I got to meet up with a bunch of people from my online book club at a wine festival. So that was my fun favorite thing. But definitely, I've been trying to like revamp my home office too as well, so it could be more of a reading library. So definitely jealous that you actually have probably a bigger spaces than I do. Well, this kind of narrows it down, but where is or has been your favorite reading spot? I guess your new home office is going to be your favorite reading spot, probably.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely not an outside reader. I like to read indoors, but I do love the vibes of reading outside. But just when there's a lot of noise or a lot of neighbors outside, you're just like, I'm trying to focus. Can you be quiet?
Yeah, I love reading at the beach. That's like my favorite thing ever. And then also when it's raining. So that's why I have like a lot of like rain and nature things when I do like my reading sprints on here and things like that. So that's awesome.
Definitely love when it's raining.
Oh,
reading and raining are
just
so
sets
great.
The mood. What is one book you've recommended the most this year?
I'm thinking of Ending Things or Behind Her Eyes.
Both really? So you like Behind Her Eyes?
I love it so much, and I feel like I shove it down people's throats. But I'm like, you're probably gonna hate it because I love it. But it doesn't make me love it any less.
I didn't like the whole like non-realistic element to it. So. Yeah. But I need to watch the Netflix movie or show. I can't remember what
I didn't like it.
You did?
I did not. It was very cheesy with the whole thing. Wink, wink.
Wink,
but yeah, I didn't really like it, and the acting was like really terrible in my opinion.
Oh, okay. Well, I just won't watch it then because that's enough said. That's one of the two things I can't stand. Going back to your favorite book of the year, who would you cast to play the movie adaptation?
I have no idea. I don't know any like redheads in Hollywood because the main character is a redhead, right?
Yeah, they could always dye their hair.
They could. You're right. I don't know. Just Sadie Sink has been on my mind. I know the age would be so different, but I just feel like Sadie Sink has a lot of depth to her. So I think she could really play that role well.
Gotcha.
And then as far as like Ryle, I'm trying to think of like a really douchey douchey person. I don't know. Oh, and then Atlas would have to be played by like a softie. A total softie. I don't know. That's a really great question, but I literally just blanked on every Hollywood actor.
I feel like your answer for Sadie Sink, that would actually be a really good character to do that. Okay. Without looking it up or cheating, how many books have you read this year?
I'm going to say 172. That's the first thing that came to mind.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
The last time I updated it, it was like 140 something, and I think I've definitely gone past that. So.
Wow. Meanwhile, my goal is 75, and I think I have like 2 more to go before I hit my goal. So, well, I know you said you're buying more bookshelves, but how do you organize your shelves and your TBR?
Right now, they're all mixed together. So in the future, I would love to have my unread books separate from my read books, but I just keep buying books at a rapid pace, so it's just never gonna even out to where I can have like the same amount of read and unread, which is fine. But currently I have them alphabetized by like author.
Okay.
But I think I might switch it up when I reorganize this room. Not sure what I want to do yet. I've definitely tried the rainbow bookshelf, but it just doesn't look good with the books I have because most of them are thrillers and they're like black or white. so it just doesn't really look that great.
Yeah, that's how I currently, well, they're like all over the place right now, but most of my thrillers are black or like a dark navy. I have a lot of blue as well. I'm not sure what
Same.
that is. Okay, so we will move on to, I guess, the second game, but I found 5 books on your Goodreads that you have rated 5 stars. And I'm going to read the first line in the book, and you have to guess which book it is.
Okay.
And if you know the answers, comment down below as well. But the first one is just, hello there, she said.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
What a sentence. I have no idea. Should I just take a guess?
Sure, go for it. They're all thrillers. I'll give you that.
It is or it isn't?
They're all thrillers. Yeah.
They're all thrillers. Okay. I was gonna guess One Day in December, but definitely not a thriller. Wow. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the thrillers I've read this year that I've rated 5 stars.
According to your Goodreads.
Yikes. I don't think it's Behind Her Eyes.
No.
It's definitely not. Dang, I'm terrible. Can I have a second sentence?
Oh, I don't even own the book anymore, so I don't know what comes after that. I'll just give it to you. It says, it's The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson.
Oh yeah, I would have never gotten that.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably going to be the hardest one on here. The second says, when the child started screaming, Phil Pendleton had his arms loaded with chocolate bars and his girlfriend cooing in his ear. This one may be a horror book. I haven't personally read it, but
was it Sour Candy?
It is.
Okay, chocolates, and I was like, okay, I think I know.
Does chocolates play a big part in that book?
Well, a lot of like candies, and then the grocery store is like a
okay. I haven't read that one,
and it is horror.
Gotcha.
It's really good.
Huh. I'm gonna have to pick that one up. Let's see. The girl's head rested on a small pile of orange and brown leaves.
The Chalk Man.
Yeah, good job. Very good. Okay, 2 more. It was Jenny's death that killed my mother.
Jenny. I'm trying to think of like sisterly books that I've read.
You're on the right track.
I have no idea.
It's The Night Swim by Megan Golden.
I read that this year. Wow.
No, I didn't look to see when you read them.
Oh, okay.
All right, the last one, and I actually read this one this month. It says, I write this because as of now, I'm not sure if I am privy to a terrible secret or if myself am insane. I feel like that wasn't grammatically correct.
Yeah, not at all.
Or if I myself am insane, probably.
Or if I myself am insane. I was thinking maybe The Patient, but I don't think I rated that 5 stars.
It is.
It is? Oh
yeah.
My God.
Good job. You got 3 out of 5. That was awesome. Okay. So we will talk non-spoilers right now and in case you're joining us and you don't know what we're talking about, I have misplaced the book, but we are reading I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. You've got the book. Okay, cool. I had it somewhere, like literally right before I started the live. So the first few questions will be non-spoilers, and then we'll get into the spoilers later. So definitely stay around if you haven't finished it or if you're wanting to read it soon or something like that. But my first question is mostly towards you. Since I started my book club, I've actually let my co-host actually pick the books. So what made you choose I'll Let You Go?
It's been on my TBR for a while, and I heard initially Emma from Drinking by My Shelf. She specifically said that it had one of the best twists in a thriller that she's ever read. And I was like, I'm intrigued. And that's pretty much why I wanted to pick it up, because I love a great twist.
Yeah, I agree. I actually had never really heard of this book, and I've heard the author's name, but not too much.
Right.
So when you said it and then I looked it up, I was like, okay, this sounds great. Let's go for it. Without giving too much away, what is your star rating on this book?
I'm gonna give it 3 stars.
Okay. I am also going to give it 3 stars. Everyone in the comments, let me know 1 to 5, like what you're rating the book. I'm not sure why you're rating it like why you're doing 3, but I felt like this book had moments where I really enjoyed it and then other parts where I didn't. Why are you giving it 3?
It's a great middleman. I mean, 3 obviously is the dead center of ratings, but like you said, it just had a lot of things I didn't care so much about that just took up a lot of the story, but then it did have some good plot points.
Yeah. So when I was trying to figure out like how I wanted to rate this book, some parts I was like, man, this is a great 4 to 5 star read. And then there was other parts it's like, man, this is like a 2 to 3 star.
Yeah.
So I felt like 3 was very much very good, like in the middle. Everyone could be happy about it. One thing I didn't realize, and I've kind of known this about myself, but I don't really like investigator / court legal thrillers too. So it could just be me, not necessarily the book type of thing.
Right.
Let's see. And we've already went over our reasons. Sorry, I'm just going over my notes. What would you compare this book to as far as like other books or movies? I've also had that on here.
I guess I would say it's a blend between 2 different books. So The Push by Ashley Audrain. I think that's how you say last name. And then also, I just had it at the tip of my tongue. The Push and The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina.
Gotcha. I was also going to say The Couple Next Door as well, because like I guess like the marital point of it as well. And then obviously there's like a child, and then there's like investigators and things like that.
Yeah, the detective was the real reason.
And surprisingly, like in those books, I actually really like the investigator in the Sherry Lapina books, but for some reason it just didn't work for me. Is this your first book by this author?
Yes, I own so many. Well, not so many, but 2 or 3 other ones. And now I'm kind of like, do I want them to be read right now or later on?
I also checked out Hostage or The Hostage, one of the 2 by Claire McCarthy. I think that's her newest release, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think I'm going to pick that one up shortly. I just don't know when. But this is my first by this author. Again, I didn't even know this book existed until you picked it, and it sounded really, really good. Okay. This one may be hard. I always have a hard time finding it, but like if you could describe this book in 3 words, how would you describe it?
Dreary.
That's a good one.
Complicated. And misleading.
Ooh, those are actually really good ones. props to you on that. I put shocking because I was pretty shocked at some of the twists. I also said layered because I felt like what you're reading is not really what you're reading. And then polarizing just because I liked it, but then I didn't like it, and then I liked it. I was back and forth. Before we get to the spoilers, let's see. Amanda gave it 2 stars as well. Katie gave it 3 as well. Literally could have totally done without the personal storyline of the. I agree. The personal storyline of the investigator. Kathleen has given it 3.5 stars. So nice. Okay, so it looks like we weren't like, completely far off from everyone else. But it's weird. Like when after you picked this one, and I announced it, I felt like everyone was like, oh, this is the best book by Claire McIntosh. I was like, oh, really? And I was like, oh, I'm so excited. But now I'm like kind of nervous to pick up anything else by her too.
Yeah.
This was only a 3-star read for me, but.
That's exactly my feelings. Because I'm like, if this is the best and it goes downhill from here, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll get into more spoilers now. So if you haven't read the book, I advise you not to stay around, but feel free to come back after you finished it. Okay, so this book has separate point of view, or separated into 2 point of views. Are you a fan of multiple point of views, and which point of view did you enjoy the most?
I do love multiple POVs in thrillers.
Same.
At first, I was like, I'm not really into this, but the more you read them, the more you're like, when you go to other thrillers that only have one perspective, you're like, oh, I really wish I could have known how so-and-so was feeling about this, or be in the head of like other characters. It was just really daunting in this one because there's no, I mean, for specific reasons, obviously, there's no like name at the beginning of the chapter to know whose head you're in, which was like really throwing me off and kind of pissing me off throughout the whole thing, because I was just like, I wish I knew without reading a couple sentences, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in Ray's like head right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really liked being in wow, I can't even remember his name. The abusive
Ian.
Yeah, that was probably my fave because it kind of reminded me of The One by John Mars being in the psychopath's head in that one.
Yeah, totally agree. I'm usually a fan of multiple point of views, except when you get past 4, then I'm done. That's one of the reasons why I haven't read The One by John Mars, because I know there's way too many characters. When I read the synopsis, I thought it would be interesting to follow a woman who's dealing with a lot and runs away, and then also the dynamic between Ray and Kate. It sounded like there was going to be a romance, but then it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But I didn't like Katie said in the comments, like I wasn't really a fan of their point of views either. I felt like we could have just been without it. And I didn't know, like you said, like whose point of view until you got a little further into the chapter. But like you said, Ian's point of view, I felt like really added that extra layer, and having those like flashbacks and things like that. Like I really enjoyed reading Ian's point of view. And this may sound so weird, but like I love reading like unhinged, crazy people's
definitely
minds, like you said.
It's interesting, and you're like, I want to know what happened.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like again, he just added that extra layer, and yeah. So, how is the pacing for the book for you? Do you feel like it immediately drew you in, or do you feel like it was a slow burn?
Definitely slow burn. I was 150 pages in, and I was like, when are we going to get to something interesting?
Yeah.
It was just the whole detective storyline. I was like, why are we focusing on this so much? And there were some points where they were just describing the investigation itself and using all of the police jargon and all that stuff. And I was just like, I don't really care. But reading the back of the book, like the author's note, Claire McIntosh was actually a police woman.
Yeah.
So that's why. Yeah, that's why she knew so much. But I was like, we get it. You know everything about this line of work.
Exactly.
But it was just a lot.
Yeah, I felt like the prologue where like Jacob, the little kid, actually gets hit by the car. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, we're just
Yeah.
jumping right in. And then I feel like once Jenna left and like went off, like I kind of felt like that's where the story kind of slowed down a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, and then once we found our first plot twist about Jenna's real identity, I feel like I was like, okay, now we're picking up. And then all the courtroom and like all the legal or the police jargon and stuff like that kind of threw it off. And then like Ian popped in, which made it a lot more interesting.
Right.
So I would say it's a little all over the place for me. But yeah, I agree with the legal jargon. That was a bit too much.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely got so much better after that initial plot twist.
Yeah. Yeah. That plot twist, I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. Do you feel like the story delivered? Did it meet your expectations or were you more let down?
I was definitely let down because it didn't really feel like a thriller.
Mhm.
Like in my opinion, it feels more like a drama investigative story, like a mystery more than a thriller. Because it
Yeah.
wasn't that thrilling, in my opinion. Until I mean, the plot
Yeah.
twist, yeah, you're like, oof, like I didn't
Yeah.
see that coming. But other than that, it was more of like a mystery.
Yeah. I agree. And I'm not really a fan of like mysteries. I like, for it to be fast paced, thrilling.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I would say it's a mixture. I feel like the pacing was the biggest letdown, but the twists were really good. One of my favorite things in a thriller is about reading about a character and then finding out that you actually don't know who you're reading about. Because the whole time I'm like oblivious. Like I felt like the whole time Jenna was actually the mother to
Hmm.
the kid that got hit, and then you're just like told, nope, not the mother. She was
Yeah.
actually the murderer. And I feel like that's when things picked up. So I feel like the first half was a letdown. And then I wish like the first half was more thrilling, like the second half when we're finding more things out and things like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Um,
I tabbed like a few parts because I started catching on because it was so weird because I was just like, there has to be a reason why there's no header for like who we're in the head of. And then I was kind of, I don't know what sparked it, but I was like, wait, they keep referring to that Jacob's mother as the mother. Like they never say her name. And I
yeah.
even wrote that down in my notes. I was like, they never say her name. So now we are following, or we're in the head of Jenna. And
Hmm.
it's like, she said she would sign those pictures that she's gonna sell of like writing names or whatever kind of messages on the.
Hmm.
She's just gonna sign them J. And I was like, why would you not use your name? And I just kept spiraling. And I
Yeah.
was like, maybe there's a reason why there's no names. And
Hmm.
then the twist comes, and I was like, I didn't see it coming, but at the same time, I was like, she totally built that up. She
Yeah.
totally did. Because looking back, I'm like, I should have noticed it.
Hmm. Agreed. Yeah. Well, going into the twist, did you see them coming? What were your thoughts on the reveals? I'm oblivious. I didn't piece anything together until it was like, boom, Jenna's not the mother. Um, I don't know why I trust authors to like make sure I know who I'm reading about, but I don't. But I actually love finding out that you're not reading who you think you're
Mhm.
reading from. Um, I was very oblivious about the twist, and I hate when I should have seen Jenna not being the real mother coming, because like you said, they weren't using names. She was signing just J. Um, I also felt like it was super weird for a mother who lost their son to just like up and run.
Yes, and then throw
I
away
was like,
her phone. I was like,
yeah,
"What? You're not gonna stay for the investigation?" It was so
yeah,
weird. I was like, I even put down, I was like, "Odd, dot, dot,
mhm,
dot."
yeah. I mean, that's so odd. I mean, like I know, like I mean, I've never lost a child, but like I
Right.
know that's just not normal. So, but what do you think of the twists?
I mean, I really liked the first one, and I definitely guessed the second one. I definitely guessed it. Like, as we were, I mean, if we're talking about like the two huge twists, because there were like some other ones sprinkled throughout, but the two big ones, like that were not in the head of the mother, were in the head of the person who at the time had hit the child and killed him. But I mean, I don't know, just the whole time I was reading the first part, I was trying to guess. I mean, I never do that. I just kind of am along for the ride. I was trying to guess, and it was totally out of the realm of what I thought. So I really did like it, and it was very unique. Because I feel as though with each thriller I read, I kind of compare it to other ones, and then it makes my enjoyment go down. And I'm like, if I would have read this book before this one, maybe I would have liked that one better.
Yeah.
But I had never seen this twist done before, where we're just in a different person's head than we thought we were. So I thought that was really unique. But then the second twist, that it was like Ian driving the car and that it was, you know, his kid that he didn't want, the whatever. I mean, it made total sense to go along with the storyline. So
yeah,
I liked it.
Oh yeah, I didn't see even the Ian part come in. I thought that was, I don't know. I'm just oblivious. Like I just know I'm going to be shocked unless it's just that predictable. But I thought they were done pretty well.
Yeah.
Let's see. How did the ending sit with you? I guess like the very ending.
Like the very, very end?
Or I guess like the whole ending in general.
I don't know. I want to ask you that question first. I want you to answer.
I'm talking about like the very, very end. So I'm not usually the biggest fan of unanswered endings or like what's it called? Ambiguous endings. But for Ian's body to not be found kind of irritated me. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, where's his body? Like, where is he?
Yeah.
And then like the message in the sand and everything like that was kind of weird. I was a little bit confused at the end. So I kind of did like some diving into some other people's reviews. And there was one in particular that someone said that, and it made sense that they think that Ian was still alive and at the very end he killed her, because at the end of the prologue it ended saying, and then it went dark, meaning Jacob had passed away or died. And then at the end of the book it said, and then it went dark. So I think he killed her right there. That's my theory. What about you?
I don't know. I definitely was like, okay, he's not dead. Like that was my very initial reaction when she saw the, like, her name or whatever. Like, okay, here we go again. A character that's supposed to be dead isn't, like, they can't find their body. I don't think he killed her. I think he's just going to pretty much torment her from afar for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And that's that. Like, people who are in abusive relationships or whatever, you know, they are just tormented day in and day out. That, like, the people who have tormented them are still out there living their lives.
Right. I was still confused. I saw things like that, but I thought that one was kind of interesting because of the wording. I kind of feel like he should have just been dead, and they did find his body.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Because I don't like ambiguous endings. Like, just think like I want all the answers. So after reading this book, do you think you're going to pick up anything else by this author?
I definitely want to. But all of them are around the same length. And I feel like that's something I didn't like about this book, is it could have been shortened if we didn't get all the police jargon and all that stuff. And also just the random thrown in relationship between
Yeah.
him and Kate. Like, it was just very weird and it didn't go anywhere. I guess it was just to kind of humanize him and that he makes mistakes too and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a perfect cop. I don't know. And then like throwing his family into it with the problems with his son, and Mags was mad at him for always being in the office. Like, it was just it didn't need to be in there.
You're right.
But I guess it was just to humanize him and flesh his character out, so then you cared more about him than you would have if it was just like, oh, we're investigating this, and then you switch to Jenna.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. I'll probably read Hostage next. That'll probably be my next one. And then if I don't like that one, then I'll just unhaul the others.
Yeah, like I said, Hostage is on my TBR. I think that's gonna be the next. I'm hopefully gonna get to it this month. Because I need to return it back to the library. But like I said earlier, a lot of people said that I'll Let You Go is like her best book. And is it her debut? Do you know?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I thought it was her debut, but they all said this was her best one. So that's why kind of makes me nervous. But then like also like I don't think a lot of people have read Hostage yet because it is semi-new, or
Right.
it came out this year actually. So I don't know. I mean I'm not gonna like write her off, but I don't think this book makes me want to pick up anything sooner, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So those are all the questions I had. Did you have any questions you wanted to bring forward? Or thoughts or opinions?
I don't think so. Let me look at my notes actually.
Okay.
Just so I can see if there was anything I just jotted down.
Okay. Let's see. Amanda said she likes multiple point of views. Definitely like them. It keeps me from getting bored. It could be jarring and aggravating if you don't like specific characters. Yeah, that's very true. Let's see. This was for pacing. There are some fast-paced moments, but for the most part, it was slow. I agree.
Yeah.
It was a letdown. I agree. It wasn't that thrilling, and at times I was bored. I'm with you, Jess. I could take it all at face value, but I do not use any of the clues given to me until they smack me in the face with the. Yeah, exactly.
I like how you definitely not trying to, but I don't know. I don't normally try to guess, but I was like, I'm going to outsmart this author and guess the twist.
Yeah, I like when a book makes me try to guess who it is, and then I'm like constantly wrong, like left and right. But yeah, that one I just went right over my head. This one has to do with the ending. I do not like ambiguous endings. I didn't like the feeling that he survived the fall. Yeah, which was kind of unrealistic. If they're gonna die realistically.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not eager to pick up another, but I won't write her off either. I'm pretty indifferent about after this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Amanda feels the same way. Fabric and Fables will. I remember liking it when I read it a couple of years ago, but not loving it. Okay, thanks, Gwen. Hey, Gwen. Yeah, did you find anything in your notes?
Some clues that I did see, also along with I keep wanting to call them chapter headers, but like names for each chapter.
Yeah.
Was that she said she couldn't have. I think it was when she was getting one of the puppies, and she was like, I can't even keep a plant alive. And I was like, but you had a son?
Yeah.
Like, it was just very weird that she said that.
Yeah.
And then went on page 39, rent is low, but we'll soon race through the money I've been putting aside. And I was like, why are you putting money aside if your son just died? I was just very like, there's something not right with this character.
Yeah, I felt like the planning of Jenna's character, like how again she couldn't keep a plant alive, but yet she had a son.
Yeah.
And then like she had money set aside, and like the way she, I guess, was planning her future before she got caught was just not very realistic, and nothing was adding up. So, which I should have seen coming. Does anyone have any questions for us? I guess while people type them out, what are you currently reading or what are you picking up? I know you said you're going on vacation. So I know you had quite a pile in your last Instagram story. Did you narrow it down to what you might be picking up?
Part of me really wants to read Ugly Love right now because I still am in the Colleen Hoover mood, and that's a lot of people's favorite. So I'm definitely bringing that with me.
Huh.
But yeah, it's definitely a lot of people I've seen recently have said it's their favorite.
I love that one more than It Ends With Us. I feel like that one's more smutty. So if you're into that, I think you would like it. I would say if you're looking for like a darker Colleen Hoover, kind of like Verity, but not as good, I would say Too Late. It's one of her older books. That one's really, really good. Has a lot of trigger warnings though. But if you're looking for like a romance, I would say November 9 or It Ends With Us, definitely.
Yeah, November 9 is a lot of people's favorites too.
Yeah, and I feel like everyone's reading it because November 9 just passed. But I'm currently reading I started on my reading sprint. It's the new Geneva Rose book thriller that's coming out in April. It's One of Us is Dead. She wrote The Perfect Marriage, which went viral on TikTok, and I'm liking it so far. I feel like drama, TV show dramas.
I did not like The Perfect Marriage.
What?
I did not like it at all.
That one. Oh my gosh. I loved that one. That one was so good.
I read it for Enneagramathon. It was the read.
Yeah.
And Jess and I from wow.
Books Past Bedtime.
Yes. Books Past Bedtime. We both were like, we both didn't like it. So it was pretty bad for us.
Oh, I loved it. Like I wasn't expecting it, and it's one of those where like if you read it, you didn't know anything till like the very end, which was like perfect. So let's see. Did you answer I didn't even see that question. I've actually thought about other ways to get connected for the book club. So Discord has been an option for me. But I'm sure I will announce something whenever I decide. Nothing in the works, but that is a good idea. So Sarah with the unpopular opinion as always.
Yep, literally always me, the outlier.
Well, I didn't see any other questions, but thank you for co-hosting with me. I did want to also say December's pick is Dying for Christmas with the one and only Gwen. I believe I forgot the date. I have to actually look at the calendar real quick. But we will be reading a Christmas thriller, and this one sounds super dark. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to be reading that one too.
Yeah.
So I can join the discussion.
Yeah, Gwen found it. She sent it to me and I said, oh my gosh, yes, I need to read that one.
For this time of year too.
Yeah, I was like, a Christmas thriller. It sounds super dark and disturbing. December 16th. So it's the Thursday before no, that's wrong. It's the week before Christmas on a Thursday, with the one and only Gwen. That's her. But basically, if you don't know what this one is about, it's about a girl that gets kind of like kidnapped from a guy that she kind of makes a small connection with, and he holds her hostage and like brings her like very disturbing Christmas gifts or something. So super weird. I'm so excited for it. Okay, so someone's already reading it, so that's very interesting. Yeah, I'm super excited. Thanks, Gwen, for picking it, and thank you, Sarah, for co-hosting with me. So excited. I'm excited for your comeback on YouTube and everything. I think I forgot to put Sarah's channel and her Instagram in the description, but I will as soon as it's done because it won't let me do it when it's live. But make sure you go follow her. She's very interactive on Instagram, and she's getting ready to go on vacation, so possibly help her pick out a book or so.
Yes, please.
But I think that's everything for this one, but I hope you guys all have a great night, and I'll chat with you later in the next one. Bye.